to Pete and Hannah's Watch List. I'm your host, Pete Mitchell, and we're here today for We Interrupt Regular Programming, our TV podcast. On today's show, we're going to have a look at Sugar, which stars the great Colin Farrell, up to the 4th episode on that one. And we're also going to have a look at The Sympathiser, 2nd episode by the great Park Chan-wook, starring the great Robert Downey Jr. But before we begin, I'm going to tell your listeners and your viewers what you should do. Like, follow, and subscribe. Hit the notification button and you'll get great content like this one. Good week on the channel this week. We're going to review Challenges, starring the great Zendaya. We're also going to look at Abigail, which is a thriller scare fest about a 12-year-old ballerina vampire. Great stuff. AFI Top 100 this week. We've got movie number 79 and The Misfits, and we'll have the usual movie news and the usual reviews. Let's get on to the show. Let's have a look at Sugar, episode 4. And we are still hunting for the missing girl, and the mystery still unravels. Last week we had Colin Farrell's character, Sugar, going to a party where it was intimated that a lot more people know what's going on. This week, you sort of get a glimpse that someone has the girl locked in a room with people guarding her. And you get the sense that, you know, her social media, what she was doing, protesting and stuff like that, has something to do with why she was taken. Sugar's on the case, and I'm really enjoying this. Like the little vignettes when you get spliced in these detective shows, like, I've seen online that some people don't like that, but I like it. It gives that noir. There was like a Steve Martin movie where he sort of played with that, the noir, and I really enjoyed that. And Sugar's got some of those elements, but probably not the humour of the great Steve Martin. Speaking of Steve Martin, there's a great documentary on Apple TV Plus. If you like Steve Martin, you should definitely check it out. It's well worth a watch. Let's talk about Sympathiser. So where we were last week, it was the main character, the double agent, was retelling his story, and the story ended from the first episode with them getting out of South Vietnam before the fall. This week it's their first week in America, and the general has it in his mind that there is a traitor amongst the mix, and he calls him the Sympathiser. We get here, the Sympathiser, he's retelling his story, writing it through a book, and we know that, this actually happened. This is based on a book. And this week's episode is about how they moved to Los Angeles. The general is not happy. He's a drunk, basically. He opens a liquor store, and he's all about finding this Sympathiser. So we get to see the young lad. He meets another Robert Downey Jr. character. Robert Downey Jr. plays a different guy this week. We saw Claude. This week we see a guy who's pretending to be Oriental, who has a scar on his stomach. He has a secretary who's played by the great Sandra Yo, and they hook up. And to their Sympathiser's brother's dismay, he's lost everything, but he seems like he's, the brother's having a great time. He's got hickeys, and Sandra Yo's really, she's fantastic. I loved her as Christina Yang. I loved her in Killing Eve, and she seems like she's having a little bit of fun this week. Robert Downey Jr., Claude comes back into it as well, and the young protagonist, he asked, "Why didn't you get us out of the camp in Arkansas?" It shows how the South Vietnamese people have been treated by the Americans, even though they were like allies, and the people of America, calling them butchers and all this stuff like that. So, he has an interview with a local paper, and, the local paper goes, "Oh, yeah, we fought for you." And, "Oh, who did you fight for?" The Vietnamese people, which side, north or south? Those shows where that someone's a spy, and a great example of this was The American, starring Kerry Russell, who she played a Russian spy living in America. I really enjoyed that show, and I really enjoy this show. And you think he's going to get caught this week, and he's trying to push the suspicions of the general onto the major this week. He's been also told by his handler from the North Vietnamese that he should keep an eye on the general, because the general still has connections in Saigon. Should we keep watching The Sympathiser? Yeah, I really enjoy it. It's look, they seem to be going for like an hour, 4 minutes, hour, 5 minutes episode. So it's a big, long mini series. Robert Downey Jr., all these different characters, is really cooking, and yeah, I'm really enjoying this show. Park Chan-wook, done it again, Manny. So on next week's show, we're coming to the end of Shogun, so we're going to watch the last episode of Shogun, and we'll recap the last couple of episodes. We're up to episode 6 when we so we'll talk about the last 4 episodes on Shogun. We'll also continue looking at Sympathiser, and we'll also continue looking at Sugar. We've got some really good TV shows coming up soon, including The Boys, which will be on Amazon, and can't wait to recap that one. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks everyone for commenting on videos and liking our videos. Really appreciate the feedback. Don't forget, we're looking for the ultimate cinema experience at the moment, so let us know your favourite cinema, and we'll add it to our list, and we'll tabulate all the results until we find the greatest cinema experience all around the world. Thanks everyone for listening or watching today. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. Until tomorrow, when we catch up for What's Next, the show where we help you figure out what to watch next. I'm your host, Pete Mitchell, and it's bye for now.